Hello and thank you for watching. You are looking at a product that I recently purchased by a company called Chutes. They are out of the state of Utah in the United States. And this is the M.A.R.S. M.A.R.S is acronym for the Magnetic Adaptable Retention System. And just as the name implies, this is a magnetic retention system. And you're probably wondering, what kind of situation would you use something like this in? Well, recently I was gifted a fanny pack by a close friend of mine. I never thought I would be a person to carry a fanny pack or to off-body carry. 99% of the time I am carrying in the appendix. However, I did find it, once I got the fanny pack, I started thinking about different ways that I might deploy it or when I might carry. I'll give you an example, like if I were hiking or out walking the dog, I thought that it might be more beneficial and more comfortable to carry in a fanny pack. Now again, 99% of the time I will be carrying in the appendix. However, for those times where it's a little bit more convenient to be carrying in a fanny pack, I will do so. Now, a close friend of mine gifted me a fanny pack not too long ago by a company called Hill People Gear. And this is the product that he gifted me. It was very nice of him. When I got this product, I was pleasantly surprised. You know, it has a lot of little compartments. But the one thing I liked about it is that it has a compartment for a concealed carry firearm. And this is it. However, if you notice, there's no holster in there. There's really no way to retain a firearm. Now, the manufacturers of this product say, well, you don't really need a holster. You just put your firearm in there and, you call it a day. You're good to go. And I suppose you could, but I mean, for me, having a firearm kind of loosely sitting in there, and before I continue, I'm going to go ahead and clear the firearm. There is no ammunition in the chamber, and there are no magazines in the magazine well. So we're going to go ahead and safely dry fire the firearm in a safe direction. Going back to what I was originally saying, just having the firearm sitting there, well, no pun intended, it didn't really sit well with me. I felt like it would be very difficult to kind of have a consistent draw because the firearm is susceptible to shifting as you're walking, and it's never going to be in the same location at the same time. Now I have a couple different firearms that I carry concealed depending on the activity that I'm doing. Now the Glock 19 is the one that I carry the most, and I thought about getting a Kydex holster, but then I'd have to, if I ever wanted to carry any of my other firearms, I would have to get different holsters for that, and that could be expensive. Going back to the M.A.R.S system, the way this works is it wraps around the firearm. I'm going to show you how. Now I am left-handed, so it would wrap around this way. You just kind of put it on there. It wraps around the trigger guard, and on the other side here it's also magnetic, so it clamps down there. As you see, it retains the firearm quite well. This is Velcro backed, so you're able to stick it in something like a fanny pack, and it's going to go ahead and retain your firearm fairly well. The awesome part about this is that this system will work with different size firearms. I have a Glock 20, which is a little bit larger, and this is a Glock 19. So instead of having to buy different holsters for the different firearms that you might be concealing in your fanny pack, with this one system here, you're able to adapt it to those. So it does save money. Now, as far as cost, this item is, it's relatively expensive for what it is, but I think the benefits that it adds is worth the price, especially the fact that you're able to use it on different firearms, because it's not specific to a single firearm. The price for this is $59.99. I think with shipping and handling and taxes and everything, it ended up being about $68 or so. Again, it's not a cheap item, but with the benefits that you get, personally, I think it's worth the investment. So once you have the firearm wrapped, again, it's magnetically held in there, you're able to then open your fanny pack. And inside the fanny pack, as you see, there is Velcro here as well, and you just made it. So you kind of choose an angle that you'd want to. Now I'm left-handed, so this is how I would have it. And then you would close the fanny pack, and in a situation where you needed to deploy your concealed carry firearm, you would rip this open, exposing the firearm, you would grab it and then you would pull out. And as you see, the Velcro is very high quality Velcro, and as you see, you can just kind of put it back in there. We'll do that one more time. I'm going to do it quite violently. As you see, the retention system stays in there. Now I'm going to show you that it also works with the more beefier Glock 20. The Glock 20, we're going to go ahead and quickly clear it. There is no ammunition in the chamber and there is no magazine inserted, so we're going to go ahead and dry fire. Same concept, you just put that on there, you wrap the trigger guard, boom, just like that, Velcro backing. You go ahead and open your fanny pack or whatever kind of off-body carry system you have, and you just attach it in an angle that is convenient for you, or that's going to work for you, and you close it up, and just like that you have a really nice and reliable retention system. But again, if you stage it and you deploy, you open, you would then reach in your fanny pack and you would draw your firearm. As you see, it retains very well. We're going to restage it again. Again, you draw very well. So again, this is the M.A.R.S system by Chutes. I highly recommend this. Again, it's a magnetic system that allows you to retain your firearm of different varying sizes. Again, the price is a little high up there. It's $68 shipped, at least to me. It was shipped into California from Utah, and it ended up being about $68. So as you see, this is a great option to have a way of retaining your firearm in an off-body pack. The Velcro is fairly strong, and shaking it, the firearm isn't going anywhere. The magnet is fairly strong, and it's going to give you a great way of always having a consistent draw, especially once you practice. You're able to go ahead and rip that out, but because of the Velcro backing, it's going to stay in place, and it's always going to allow you to reset and go on your way. So for those of you looking for a nice universal retention system, I would consider looking into the M.A.R.S system by Chutes. A good quality product made in the USA, which no complaints about that. Thank you for watching, and as always, stay safe.